Hello everyone, how are you all doing? It's Thursday tutorial time, and this week we're going to be doing some Christmas stroke Halloween earrings. Hello Kim, thank you for joining, and we're going to be using needle and thread technique as well. So if you've never used needle and thread before in jewellery making, this is a really nice one to get you started. Good evening, Francis. How are you all doing? Can you hear me? See me okay? Hopefully you can. Let me just reboot that. Hello, Jane. Hello, Carol. Jane is just getting the kids through the door. I bet you've had a busy day. So let me show you the earrings that we're going to be making. So these are the earrings now. A couple of weeks ago, can't remember how long it was, but we've been looking at right angle weave, which is sort of basically groups of 4 beads that form the right angle weave, and this is actually using a right angle weave pattern as well. Hello Linda, everything is fine and everything is in sync, says Kim. Absolutely wonderful, thank you. Now I'll go on the overhead in a second, but what I just want to do is just update you on what materials we're going to use. Hello Trisha, hope you're well. So obviously needle and thread, so if you've never done any needle and thread work before, you need what's called a size 10 beading needle. You're going to need beading thread. I'm using Nymo. There's lots of different types of beading thread. I would recommend using a wax because it basically helps to keep your needle in place rather than it keep coming off, and also helps to prevent fraying as well. If you haven't got any of that, run it alongside an old candle, that would work. The size beads that we're using, now the shape of them are called bicones. Jane says I've frozen. I'm hoping that I am back with you. Hello Carol, please let me know if I'm not. You literally just need, for a pair of earrings, 18 size 8 seed beads. Now we might play around and see if we can use alternatives. The 4mm bicones, so you're going to need 18 per earring, and a little scatter of size 10 check seed beads. Now again, if you've never worked with seed beads, the smaller the number, the bigger the bead. It's all to do with sort of per inch how many seed beads you can get out of that. So obviously the higher the number, the smaller they are. Hello Anne, and obviously your earring hooks. So let's go. Let me just set up my overhead. So what have you all been up to? Has anybody started making their Christmassy stuff? Now I have to say, it has been so lovely seeing you all respond so well to the angel why work angels that we did last week. They've been really popular, and it's been really nice seeing some people try a little bit of the wire working as well, where, you know, perhaps it's something new to them. And I'm loving the fact that you're all putting your own little lilt on them. I remember now Lydia, she put some little frills on the head, and, you know, some really nice extra intricate things. So drop me a note in the comments if you have tried the angel, and don't forget to post in our sister group Beaders of Beads by Verchiel. Now this is what we're going to be making tonight. I might have to get in a little bit closer for you in a second. And I thought, looking at that, that would make quite a nice spider's web. So if you really don't like the look of replicated wirework spiders, you might want to look away for a few moments, because I'm just going to show you one. And last night I did the bicones in the black and I put a frill around it, and you know, if you followed the spider tutorial I did the other week, what I've done is I've used the same technique, but I used 0.3mm wire and just basically slimmed it down, made it really tiny. If it's something you'd like me to do a little tutorial on, the little spider, let me know. I've just put a couple of stitches in there, but I really like that. Anyway, that's the Halloween version. So let's just have a quick look at your comments. So Trisha has done an angel and has posted a photograph. Fantastic. I think I caught that earlier, but I just didn't have time to have a good look and comment. So thank you for that, Trisha, and I hope you enjoyed. And doesn't start Christmas till after Halloween, as too many birthdays in September on October. We do as well. September is a busy month for us too. Kim hasn't tried the angels yet, and she's making bracelets at the moment. Carol has made an angel, not overly happy with the wings. Think you'd describe them as organic. Now listen, Carol, wire work is always very organic, and I think it brings it more character. Yes, I agree, Kim. Organic is good. Is good. So let's get started. So this is what we're going to make. Now let's just zoom in a wee bit more. I do wish my phone wouldn't lock. Now we want to go in as close as we can. There we go. So we're going to need our bicones, and we are going to need our seed beads to begin with. Now I rather like the red, so I'm going to stick with the red because they look super Christmassy. But to be honest, you can use these as an all year round thing, couldn't you? In terms of thread, I would say if you can work with it, 1.5 meters. So what you're going to add on there is 1 size 10 seed bead and 3 bicones to begin with. Now bicones refers to the shape of the bead. Now you may be able to use other shapes, but I haven't tested it out yet. Now sometimes in beadwork, some beadwork groups say a no to tying knots. I like breaking rules. So I'm actually going to tie a knot where that thread joins, a double knot, because it really is going to help you with the tension. Okay, so that's what we've got there. Now just to say, the Halloweeny black bicones, the Chinese bicones that I've got in the strand. Now I'm going to order some more bicones. They sell out really quickly in the thread. They are so incredibly cheap, and they're super quality as well. So I've just reinforced that. I'm just going to wrap that around my little pinky just to give a little bit more stability. Now what I'm going to do on this next one, hopefully you can see that. Let's just hold that still for a moment. Hello Nikki, don't worry, you haven't missed much by the way of demonstration. So we're going to add another size 10 seed bead, and this time we're just going to add 2 bicones. And then, so you want that to sit in the middle, and then we are actually going to go down one of the bicones that you did in the previous little move. Okay, I'm just going to try and keep that still so that you can see. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for the first one, then 1, 2, 3, and your 4th bead is basically used from the one in the previous row. So I am going to reinforce, because reinforce is really important, and what it means is you're going back round the threads again to keep it stable. So I'm just keeping my hands over it for a moment just to help me get some stability with that. So this time I'm going to go up through the bicone there on the end. Okay, this time I'm going to add 2 bicones and a size 10 seed bead, and my thread's coming out from here, and I'm just going to go up through that end bicone like so. So you with me so far? Just keep that for a moment. Right, so Kim is saying that the beads are a bit dark to see clearly. Okie dokie. So if that is quite difficult, then what I propose to do is I will do it in a different colour. Actually, that's a bit better on there, isn't it? Let me just alter the light in a moment. Right. Let me know. Can we change the beads, please? Yeah, of course we can. No problem at all. So bear with while I get a selection of beads. I'm just wondering what the best colours are going to be. So chat amongst yourselves. Talk to each other about what projects you've got coming up while I choose some more beads. Now I wonder if the red would work. I think those are too dark. I think the pink might work well. So let's try pink and silver. Right, so we just cut that off for now. But this is a nice little way of also showing you how it will look with non-Christmassy bits. Always brighten my screen. Oh, I didn't even know I could do that. Anyway, we'll start with another colour. But thank you for that, Nikki. I will look into that for next time, but I won't this time because I don't know how to do it. Oh, you mean you can all adjust your brightness? Oh, I see. Anyway, we got loads of time. We've got loads of time. Hello, Betsy. I'm good, thank you. How are you? Right, so let's start again. So 1 seed and 1, I just hope it's not gone the other way this time, 2, 3. Is that better, Kim? I think that's much better, isn't it? It looks better on my screen. I don't know if it is on yours. Right, so we're going to tie that in a knot, 2 overhand knots. All right. Hopefully you can see that. So we're going to take our needle and pop that up through the end bicone. Now it's only on the first, when you're doing right angle weave, that you add 4. On all of the others you add 3, but remember that one of those 3 is a seed bead. So we've got 1, 2 and a seed bead, but it does change as we're going along in terms of what sequence you have those 3 beads. So your thread is coming out from the top and we're going to go up from the bottom to anchor that circle. So you're making little circles all the time. So we are going to go back round that again. Much better, brilliant. Thank you for that, Kim. I do appreciate it, because there's nothing worse, is there? You know, if you can't see and you're not learning, it's not very good, is it? Hello, Lydia. Lydia, I was just talking about your lovely angels, and I love all the extra little details that you've put on them. Right, so let's just take stock. I'm just moving them at different angles so that you can actually see. So on this next one, because we're at the bottom, we're going to add a seed bead and then 2 bicones. So your thread is coming out at the bottom, so we call the bits where the seed beads are the bottom and this bit the top. So we're going to anchor that and pull that. And then we mentioned about reinforcing. So to reinforce, we're going to go all the way back round those beads that you've just added. I just keep looking online just to make sure that I'm in shot. And I'm going back up the seed bead and the bicone, and I'm just going to take stock so that you can have another look, so that if you're doing this at home you can compare it. Now those seed beads will be this part of the wreath. Okay, so we're now going to add 2 of our bicone beads and 1 seed bead. So thread is coming from the top here, so that means we anchor it at the bottom of the same bicone. Hi June, it's good to have you join, hope you're well. So I'm going to reinforce so as you can see, on some moves your needle is coming down towards the middle, on others it's going at the top. When you're at the bottom, your first bead will be a seed bead and then 2 bicones. Okay, thread coming out of the bottom, so to anchor it we want to anchor it at the top. Now, when do you know when to stop? Well, when you've added 9 seed beads in the centre is where you need to stop. However, the last group is slightly different because you need to join bicones from either end. Right, so let's just, so can you see with that little method is it's curving quite beautifully. Okay, so thread at the top, therefore we add 2 bicones first and a seed bead. Go up through the bicone, how are you all doing so far? Are you following me? I know it's really difficult. I think until you actually sit down and make it yourself, it can be quite difficult to sort of follow it. So we've got 2, 4, 6. So we've just got 3 groups left to do. So as you can see, this time we're moving downwards. So when we're at the bottom, you add a seed bead first, followed by 2 bicones, thread coming out the bottom, so we anchor at the top. And reinforce. Why do we reinforce? It's just really, it's to stop it being so floppy. We don't want it being floppy now. Two, four, six, 2, 4, 6, 7, can't count. Right, bear with me, I just need a few more bicones. Okay, 2 bicones. How many of you have got stores booked over Christmas? I have to confess, I don't have any booked this year. I don't really have a lot of time to do any. The one that I usually do, I think they did it earlier on in the year. Right, I hope you can see that. So this is where we want to join both sides. So what we do is we add a seed bead. Okay, add a seed bead. You're coming out of that bicone there, and you want to go up through that bicone the other end. So you are joining both together, and then all you're going to add on the last one is 1 bicone at the top and go down the first one that you came out of, and that's how you join the circle. So I'm just going to reinforce that. Just making sure you can see. Bit confused, says Anne. We need to do step by step with a large glass of something. Oh dear, is it that bad? Okay. Right. That's your first step. Okay. Next step is to add size 8 seed beads in between each one at the top. Oh, some of you've got stores booked. Hello Patricia, she couldn't sign in. It's good to have you here. Kim has a couple booked in this year. June is in Laycock, the first weekend of November, and December. Laycock is such a gorgeous place. Now Jane has booked 1 store at the end of November, but may pick up another. Really need to restart my Facebook selling page. Oh, Nikki has me on the TV. I'm glad it's mainly a hand shot then. Now, talking of TV, I have actually been asked to do another Create and Craft extra. There'll be a 4-hour special coming up on extra 4 hours of jewellery making, and they've asked me to be one of their jewellery makers, so I'm well happy with that. Right, so what we need to do now is we need to bring these in together at the bottom. So we're just going to stitch through all of these seed beads. So whilst it's not on the main channel, it's good. I think it's a really good move forward, the fact that they're doing a 4-hour jewellery takeover, because I think, you know, if you've got people like yourselves that have four hours of jewellery making, I think people are more likely to watch. Okay, so that's brought that in. You might want to just reinforce that. So it's not really that difficult. Do you know what I thought this would be really nice to do? That would be a really nice topper of a ring. Oh, that would be nice with a peyote band. And we could have a bead in the middle. Wouldn't that be lovely? A ring with a peyote band. Let me know your thoughts, because I'll try it and we'll do it next week. That'll be next week's just food for thought. I didn't realise that, Anne. Sorry to hear that. Anne sadly can't drive anymore. Otherwise she'd visit the stalls. I mean, that's the other thing, is if you are local to each other and you want to share where you're actually going to be having your stalls, you know, you might be able to do a bit of a meet-up with someone, you know, with some of our other beady friends and group. Right, so the last little bit is just to make the element where the earring hook goes in. Now, if you've got an earring hook to hand, why did I not have an earring hook? Bear with me. Oh, right, earring hooks. Why are they never there when you want? Ah, there they are. I've got so many boxes. I've got about 100 boxes on the wall. Cocktail ring. Do you like the sound of that? Shall we do that next week? Yes, you could join it as a bracelet as well. We could look at different options next week, couldn't we? I like the idea that those could be links for a bracelet. Right, so what I would do is to hook it into an earring is add 3, go through the earring. So I've come out of a seed bead at the top and I'm going to go down through that one like so. Now you might find another way of doing it, which is equally fine, but what you need to do is you need to go back round to reinforce. Oh, you're coming out with all these ideas now, but you'll have to bear with me because I've got the attention span of a gnat at the minute. I blame the menopause. I really do. Brain fog, terrible brain fog. I mean, you know, I had brain fog without it, so you can just imagine. Right, so, isn't that lush? I rather like that. So, tying off. Let's just presume you've never tied off before. So to tie off, you tie off in between beads. So it'd go underneath but before you do pull it through, just tie a knot, and do that in 2 to 3 different places. Now you should really do the same with that loose bit from the start as well. I'm going to be really naughty because this is only a demonstration piece. If it's a bit floppy, you might want to go back. Okay, before you cut, always push your needle through another couple of beads. You could use what's called a thread zapper if you wish. Now, there's nothing Christmassy about that at all, but the good thing is it's a really flexible pattern, so it's great for Christmas and it's great for all year round. So let me know if you want me to do the other earring so that you can take it in and watch it again. If there's enough of you that would like to see it, then I will. Let's just have a look at your comments. So June said it would make a nice brooch. It would make a nice brooch. Kim said it would look good with a few joined as a bracelet. I love that idea. Hello Sandra, lovely to have you. Linda likes the idea of a ring, so does Nikki and Kim. Hello Jay. Nikki said she can't drive anymore either. That must be a real challenge after being used to having your wheels and then having to rely on other means of transport. So, hi Jackie. Trisha likes that. Carol likes that. June says she'll have to watch this on a big screen as the eyes are not what they were. I think that goes for a lot of us, doesn't it? And certainly, you know, the nights are drawing in, so it's a little bit darker in here as well. Now, June says hello to Francis. Now, it might just be that I can't actually see her comment on here because I can't see a Francis on here. So hello Francis. I know Francis, you joined at the start, but for some reason your comments have gone. Let me just refresh my page. I'm just waiting for you to let me know whether or not you want me to make the other earring. Oh, you can't use public transport either. Oh gosh. So anyway, I'm just gonna, just a spider alert, just to let you know, I'm just gonna pop a spider in there. Not a real one, of course, but that is the spider one that I did. So if you missed the outset, I have done the same as our big spider, but I've used 0.3mm wire and I've put a few stitches in it as well, and I've also done an edging, so you know where these like size 8 seed beads are, I've got made a little picot, so it's a little bit flowery like on there. Okay, I'll take that away now. Francis has blocked me. Well, you can't really blame her, can you? Yes, do the other. Okie dokers. That's hilarious. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There we go. Right, I'm just going to cut my thread. Yeah, so can you see Francis's comments? I saw it at the start. How bizarre. Facebook does some weird. Not guilty. See, I can see you now, Francis. Oh dear. Right, threading a needle's not great when you're doing a live, I have to say. Right, there we go. Right, here we go then. So, remembering 4 at the outset. It doesn't matter which way round your combination is. One size 10 seed. Gonna do a no for some beaders, and that's to tie a knot. Just one overhand knot. Do it slowly, because otherwise you find that it goes straight over the seed bead and you don't get the knot where you want it. I think it's particularly helpful having a knot in it to start off with, but it is each to their own. You can reinforce if you want to, but I'm not going to. Okay, so that's number 1. And I've positioned the needle going up through the bicone there. So I'm going to add 2 and a seed bead. And I'm doing it that way round because the seed bead is going to be down here. So thread coming out of here. So you want to just go, don't go up through the seed bead, just the bicone. Okay, and then go all the way back round. I'm doing fine for time, so I will reinforce it. Sorry, I've got my fingers over it while I'm reinforcing, just to help stabilise it. So this time we're going down through the bicone. So because our first move is actually at the bottom here, that's when you add a seed bead first, followed by 2 bicones. So your thread is coming out of the bottom one, so you want to actually anchor your needle or place your needle through the other end of that bicone, like so. And then we're just going to reinforce that again. So when you reinforce, just go back round so that your needle comes out in the very same place. And then we're going to move through the size 10 seed bead and the end bicone. So let's just take stock of that. Think in groups of 4, but you're including the seed bead in that. Now, because we are at the top, you start with a bicone. So you do bicone bead, and a seed bead. So your thread is coming out that side. Just push your seed bead to the side because you don't want to go up through that, just the other end of the bicone. Reinforce that, and again you want to be coming out of the end bicone. This time needle's going down. So because you're at the bottom, that means you start with the seed bead, bicone, bicone. So your thread's coming out the base of that bicone, you want to go the other side to anchor that. So you're making a circle. And manoeuvre your needle so that it's coming out of the last bicone in that group. So needle coming from the top, which is bicones and seed bead. Thread coming out of there, so you want to go up the bottom of the bicone again. Don't touch, you don't want to go through any of the seed beads. and reinforce so that your needle is going down through the last one. Just take a check. So we've got 6 seed beads on. As I said, 9 seed beads is how many you have around the entire thing. So we're at the bottom. Start with a seed bead and 2 bicones. Thread coming out of the bottom, go down through the top of that bicone. Reinforce. Now I've put the size 10 seed beads at the top of the thread, you know, like the Christmassy colours. But if you want to see the full range of them, then just go on my website, beadsbyverchiel.co.uk. Oh, there's another one. Right, so we're at the top, so that means bicones first. Go the other end of that bicone and reinforce. How are we doing for time? Oh, we got 15 minutes yet. We're doing fine. Right, let's just pop that down. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is our last one. So on the last one, threads coming out the bottom of this one, go through, sorry, what you do next is you add a seed bead, go up through that bicone, and then add one in the middle, and then go back down there. And then we're going to reinforce back round there. Now, for the last little bit, well, there's 2 little bits left, isn't there? We're going to add our size 8 seed beads. So add a size 8 seed bead and go through. Now you might need to sort of play around if you've want to use like size 15 beads or size 10s. You might want to play around. It might be 2 in one, 1 in the other. You just need to make sure that it doesn't make it buckle. Now if you do want me to order you any particular colour size 8 seed beads, do let me know, because I will need to sort of order a few bits and pieces anyway this week. Right, so when you've done that on the outside, you can feel it starting to buckle. That is because we haven't tightened up the centre. So I would suggest, before you reinforce the outside again, is you take your needle down to the bottom and you join up all of these seed beads. So you're just going to push your needle through those. Oops. Preferably not making a knot if you can help it. Now it'll probably start buckling on the outside now, okay? But that's okay. because we are just going to go back and reinforce that too. I'm going to go back round the centre just to make sure that we've got a nice sort of slick circle in the middle. Okay, and once we've done that, we're going to go back up to the outside and just pull in the outer bit a little bit as well. So to do that, we're going to reinforce by going around the outside. Did that sort of make a little bit more sense this time? How would you feel about giving that a go? And is there anyone that's new to needle and thread work? Any tips that you've got as well? Now, if you find that, you know, the tension isn't, you know, it's a bit floppy, you can always paint it with nail varnish, the sort of in-betweeny parts. Now, I have actually managed to catch my thread around there, so we pretend that didn't happen, even though it did. I'd have to start again. But, you know, as you can see, it happens to us all, and it's really difficult as well at night time, sometimes when you're doing bead weaving. I could imagine you probably all saw me do that, saying you probably commenting at the screen, better this time, that's good. Right, so 3 and then 3 the other side, and you're going to push away like so. Okay, so I'm not going to tie that off because that really will need to come undone, but there you go. It's rather pretty, isn't it? I just love the fact that, you know, that looks like a wreath. That really doesn't look like a wreath, it just looks like some nice little embellishment. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let's show you. So that's, I love that. I do need some more pink earrings. I think that would be quite nice with a little like dropper on the bottom as well, you know, like a nice little crystal or something. But those crystals, those are the pink Chinese crystals. So so I think next week, if all goes to plan, I will do a little cocktail ring for that, which is also a good opportunity to do a recap as well. So have a go, and then if you've got any questions, it's an opportunity to do a bit of a Q&A at the same time as well. So if you've got sort of anything that you've struggled with, then it's something you can bring to the live next week. Yeah, I think that would be quite pretty, wouldn't it? And also, if you wanted, oh, went off piece then, you could also, not that I like chokers myself, but I think, wouldn't that be a lovely choker necklace? I wonder how that would work with round glass pearls 4mm. Perhaps someone might be brave enough to give it a go between now and then. But wouldn't it be lovely if you had all of these different links going around? Or you could have 3. So you've got one here, and one in the middle, maybe a couple at the drop in the middle. And then you could attach the rest with the chain. So it's a really versatile little pattern. So I do hope that you enjoy it. Please don't forget to share any of your mates in our Beaders of Beads by Verchiel. We do love to see what you're making, and it's so nice to see it grow. as well, in the sense of it's good to see your community growing there as well. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a good evening, and I will see you on Sunday, if not before. Apologies, I'm a bit waylaid with updating baskets. I haven't forgotten, but today is a postal strike day anyway, so sadly there's no post going anywhere today anyway. But anyway, take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.